Peace and salute. Peace and salute, everybody. I can't wait.
Peace and salutes, everyone. Hope you're all doing well today, this evening, this night, whatever, wherever you are.
Wherever the sun shines or don't shine. There's a nice full moon out tonight, Dean. We got a nice big full moon. Yeah, I was showing it when we were doing the interview.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was showing the moon, but you were definitely talking, but I'm not saying that in a bad way. But Dean,
we got a cloudy sky here. We got a cloudy sky outside, so I'd be able to show it to you. Sorry.
Dean is a lovely man. He's gonna have a long. He has so much to his life. He could write definitely a nice novel. And that's why I want to interview Dean. You could just tell he had like an interesting life, especially when he said he lived in the bush. I only seen stuff like that in the movies. So to actually speak to someone that lived in the bush, man, that sounds exciting. When you said I lived in the bush, Dean, that time you were mad. You were like, I could outlive any one of you in the wilderness.
And I could. And the thing is, that, you know, as I was saying to Kane and Maureen last night, when I was in Australia, I got to know some Indigenous folk, and they taught me about finding bush tucker in Australia. So there's things and trees and plants and things over there that I know that I could find that I could survive on in that land, right? Not to say every part of that land has those things, though, because it's a very harsh landscape, Australia, right? But there are parts that you can survive in out in the scrub, no worries at all.
Paula, good to see you back, Paula. Peace, Parsnip.
Hey, Paula.
Whenever I see that name, Parsnip, it reminds me of parsley for some reason. Because you could snip the parsley like a parsnip. Starving. What's up, Bex?
Not much. I was just been hanging, watching some YouTube shorts.
Who cut the rope?
And I was thinking about when I was super, super broke in the city and didn't have food, you know, and then started looking around at. Anyways, I realized that you could actually. I didn't do it, but I realized you could probably boil rocks and remineralize water. And shortly after I thought of that, they went around. There was a charity organization that had formed a composite rock that they were going into communities, undernourished communities in different third world countries, and giving them this man-made composite rock to put in their soups to remineralize their soups. So
what a great idea.
Yeah, so I don't think we realize how much nourishment exists around us. It might not be what we're used to comfort-wise, but honestly, if there was no food around, you could boil rocks and get some nourishment.
Or you could dumpster dive. I seen people, I was just watching videos the other day, and they were dumpster diving. And man, these companies throw out
it's shameful.
Cartons and cartons of food. It's one day old, so instead of putting on sale, we're giving it away. They'd rather put it in a dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lock the dumpsters here.
Hmm. They're starting to do that here.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this whole system. When I
That's an
die,
interesting. That's an
be a
interesting
nice
bloody.
sleep.
Oh, sorry, Chuck.
I was just saying, when
Carry
I
on.
die, it'll be a nice long sleep.
Yes, that was a bloody interesting link you sent me, bro. Can you hook into it now?
What? Oh,
That link you
the
sent me.
yeah. I have to download the video, but I could do it.
That's bloody worth doing, I reckon.
I agree. I'm gonna do it in a minute. I'm done eating this piece of pizza. Yeah, I thought something happened to Paula. She just disappeared.
I'm sorry.
G'day, how are ya?
I'm okay. I just left a 6-hour birthday party on another channel. It was so fun. I'm pretty wore out now,
Okay.
though.
Nice.
A birthday party, that's cool.
Yep, it's my birthday. I'm 55. When it gets to like 11:59 and 59 seconds, when it's almost midnight, I'll be 55.
Peace to
Hmm.
Michigander, here and
So
back, and happy
congratulations
birthday.
to you for your birthday, and I hope you
Yes.
have many happy returns, Paula.
Thank you.
She will.
Hi,
Happy
everyone.
birthday.
Nice. So
Happy-
your birthday's
Happy-
tomorrow, Paula? And
Well,
today you have
no,
a party?
just tonight at midnight, like just before midnight.
Oh, nice.
What
Hmm.
I should have said was congratulations for your rebirth.
Right. Right.
Nice.
Yep. Ow.
Cool.
Oh. But yeah, 6 hours, boy, that took a lot out of me, but it was fun. Oh,
Neat. I was at I can't remember. I've been to a couple in YouTube birthday parties.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's fun. I'm glad you had a nice event.
Yeah, it was nice. I even had a new Russian acquaintance, a friend of mine's friend. He sings like opera, and he wanted to sing happy birthday to me. It was amazing. He's got such a powerful voice. His name is Tormer or something like that. It's a weird Tormir, something like that. I call him T. But I promised him I would try to learn how to say his name right. But damn, he sang happy birthday to me. That was good stuff. You know, usually, a
Hit
whole
it.
group of people sing happy birthday to you, and you just want to cut your
Happy
ears off.
birthday to you.
How'd you know what I meant? That's crazy. That's crazy, Dean. Dean knew what I meant. I said, hit it. I was going to say, happy birthday to Paula.
Oh, that's very precious. Thank you, thank you.
I wish I had some virtual birthday cakes.
Well, we
So
have
light.
little emojis. Put a little emoji back here in private chat. Put a little cake.
Phil, get your ass up here. Salama.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing down there?
The hell are
Peace
you
to
doing
Salama.
down
Um, let's
there? Now, me
see.
and Bats, we hung out with Smoking and G Sharp last night, checking her
She's
audio
cool.
for over an hour.
I like her. She's awesome. Smoking
hour,
and G
20
Sharp's
minutes?
cool.
Yeah, yeah. I like her. I've known her for a long time, too.
So did you happen to see, I'm going to bring this up one last time. Did you happen to see the YouTube streets, how there's videos of people shitting all over me and some other people that come here.
No, I have not, but shame on them. I mean, seriously, what have you ever done to anybody? I heard, I got wind on London Man's channel. I guess people are mouthing him and a couple other people.
Yeah.
And these are nice people. And it's like, what are you inventing in your fucking head about these fucking people? I didn't know you were included in all that. I mean, you got to be making some shit up, because these are good people. There is nothing to talk about unless you're making it up.
Pretty much. But I was just wondering.
No, I didn't know, but
Excuse me.
you know, you can
They don't have
tell
birthday
me
cakes here?
What?
How do you not have a birthday cake for an emoji, man? What's going on here? They used to.
Well, yeah, I just used mine earlier. Let me see if it's still there. Maybe they ate the cake.
Ah.
Nope, there's mine. I'm
Hold
sending
on,
my
I'll
cake.
I'll find it.
Well, that's good.
I'll
You
share
still got
my
your
cake
birthday
with
cake.
everybody. Oh, let me go to live chat and do it too.
This is crazy. Oh, that's why. I'm retarded.
What?
Doo-doo-doo. Use the dun-dun-dun. Oh, okay, I found them. Happy birthday to Paula. Here's the virtual cakes.
Some virtual cakes. Good on you.
Yeah, cake. Yum. Chocolate cake.
I just had a pizza cake.
Pizza cake? What the hell is a pizza
I want
cake?
another piece of chocolate cake.
Devil's food cake with Cool Whip frosting. Yes.
Devil's cake, the old way. It's all chocolatey. My mother used to love them.
Mm-hmm.
We used to get watermelon. Friendly's ice cream used to have these watermelon ice cream cakes. And they look like a sliced piece of watermelon, right?
Yes.
And they used to use like chocolate chips for the seeds.
Yes.
I mean, it was good.
And it's a red velvet, which is still chocolate. It's a red velvet cake that they make it with. Yes. Yep. Oh, that looks delicious. She put
We
a
made that for you. Me and Marsha made that for you.
Wow.
Oh,
Beautiful, and it looks delicious.
That's butterfly birthday cake under the mystical. I used the mystical filter for you. It's
Oh,
very
nice.
realistic. Very realistic. Mystical likes to use a lot of rainbow colors, but that's one of the most realistic mystical images I've ever got out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really pretty. If I hadn't just had dinner, I'd be hungry just looking at it. But thank goodness I already I had spaghetti for dinner, for my birthday dinner. And no, my husband didn't make it for me. I had to cook it my damn self. If I wanted it to taste good, I had to do it myself. He can make chili, but that's about it. And he knows that. He admits that. I can make chili, you know. Damn it, I keep stabbing myself in the ear with my thumbnails. They're so long, it's insane. But
So what are we gonna build on?
trying to keep them just in case.
What type of foundation? Anything.
Oh, well, I've been watching an old friend's YouTube channel again, and I recently found out I've been, you know, periodically for years off and on looking into the Philosopher's Stone. And for some reason, I either don't remember ever coming across this information, or I didn't never come across it at all until I was watching his video over there. And apparently the Philosopher's Stone is basically honesty. And then there's, side notes, integrity, temperance, and a couple of other things too. So, but I don't know if anybody's willing to touch on that one here, because it's a pretty deep.
Yeah, go into it.
From what I understood, I also listened to this stuff. I was listening to these, these old, I guess, occultish, like Manly P. Hall types or whatever. And from what I understand, my understanding of the Philosopher's Stone at a cursory glance is exactly what you're saying, Paula. In that it's actually I'm going to assume it's a gem inside of us. Right. It's something to do with our crystalline compound. And what I was learning sort of, again, I'm paraphrasing here, but chipping away all the experiences we have, chip away at that stone and polish it. And actually, let's say in a perfect sense, bevel it like a diamond. Right. So it's turning all of those experiences into exactly having those qualities that Paula mentioned. Right. So in the face of adversity, showing grace. Right. Learning to be integral with your word, right. Which is hard when we're all, we're all getting all caught up in what words mean, and what they've been told that they mean. And, it's just really interesting because it is exactly that stuff, Paula. It's turning all of those experiences into all the virtues, I guess, biblically they would be called virtues, but.
Yeah, virtues is the right word. Yes. And,
yeah.
And I think the heart is, the gem. Because it's going to be through love that anything gets done right.
Well,
for sure.
Yeah, you think about like in a shellfish, right? It's a piece of sand that turns into a pearl, So I don't know. And then we look at these, all these different mystical and magical earthly things that we're starting to sort of comprehend where these elements come from and what kind of beasts or living creatures or living plants and stuff. I half wonder if, they can't cut us open and pull out a diamond.
Yeah, I know, right? I think mine suck. I'm making a joke.
Mine, well, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, well, maybe if we get turned to stone, that might happen. But at the moment, yeah.
I think mine's in there sideways.
Have you guys got have you ever done any reading and got any other sense of the Philosopher's Stone? Because that's just me.
I'm going to be digging into it. Yeah. Yep, I'm going to get back to that because it's so important, especially with the world and the condition that it's in right now. There's just no time for messing around. I'm just going to get right on in there. And I'm glad that Doc came back into my life, so that Seven Serpents came back into my life so that I could go back to his channel because YouTube wouldn't let me find it. And he's into the short, simple ritual that you just do, with your arms and your words and your mind and, the inner alchemy of it. And so he's really into this Philosopher's Stone thing because of the state of the world. And he's like, honesty is a huge part of it. And he got so excited. I got so excited that, he had 2 videos up there and I watched them both, ate them. And now I'm going back to see all the other videos that he made prior to that, so I can get all caught up. But I already have a video set up. I've already got a search engine opened. And I'm going to put something together. And as soon as I feel froggy, I'm going to go live on my channel, make a video about it. And then once I'm done, reading from the articles or whatever I find, then I can have other people up to talk about all the goodies I found. Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. Sounds cool.
Sorry about that. My husband was turning on the fan. I tried to mute myself, but my finger slipped. It missed the microphone. So that's one thing we kind of dabble with, but I don't know if we have enough info to carry it on for a couple hours. But there's one topic. Anybody else got anything?
Well, I represent the earth, I guess. And I've been thinking about it for so ever long. I related something this morning to a post this morning, and I thought about it in the context of like how much we use the word world compared to the word realm. And would that make any difference to how we see the earth? I mentioned that, you know, you could, if you saw the earth as something that was more than just a place of existence, but that it was necessary to life, then and then you can create within those within that frame. Or the other one is you could believe in world and in worlds within worlds. So you could have a realm within a realm, or you could have worlds within a world. But when you start talking worlds, I mean, there are people today who have got worlds in their mind. They believe they can go and live on Mars. And that is, to me, a fantasy, because it's, I mean, they could probably create that in their mind and they can see themselves there. But really, I mean, is it real, or is it something that we can just create with our mind to see it?
Both.
You know?
Oh no, but isn't Mars closer to the sun than Earth? Oh, it's
No.
further
I
away
reckon the
on
moon
the
is
other
closer.
side.
Closer.
Nothing is close to the sun. I personally think the sun and the moon are lower than the stars.
Yeah.
I don't like, if you look at the old heliocentric model with the sun in the center, just picture the sun in the center as Saturn, and all the planets that go around the sun is the rings of Saturn. You're Saturn worshippers. The heliocentric model is literally
So
Saturn.
I pose this question, Manny, or
Interesting.
Manny, Manifestor 1111, had a live, and I posed this question to Gremlin. What would a 13th moon sign do to the astrological calendar, signs, right? Because the 13th moon gives us 29 days, which is 364 days. That's only one day out. And we have 13 months, 13 full moons to a year.
Yeah, one is in the
Yes.
Thiabofucus. One of the 13th moon is in the Thiabofucus for just a few hours.
So in
Yeah.
that case, it shifts all the star signs forward. So instead of me being a Pisces, I would now become a Aquarian on the cusp.
Yeah,
And
I'm
but you're
still
all
Leo.
12 signs. You're the whole
Sorry?
universe,
But
Steve. You're the whole
absolutely
universe.
yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. Really, what I'm doing is using it as an example of
Okay.
showing how the shift will make everything else have to shift. And therefore, is it real, or is it just the creation of a fantasy in the mind.
Right. What's a birthday? You know, I think sometimes, like, okay, they say I'm born on this day, this month, and this year, but what is that? That's man-made. So what day was I truly born on? We know they added 1,000 years to the Gregorian calendar. So what is
Yeah.
a birthday? You know,
Yeah.
other than maybe they started birthdays to, they could register us into the state. You know, these numbers they use. Well, we got to put this on the birth certificate to
Mhm.
certify the birth. You know, what do they got to certify the birth? The only one that should be certifying your birth is your mother, not the
Right.
state.
Yep. Yeah. They tricked us, man. They tricked us.
Just like with these signs.
So
and
yeah,
stuff.
so the astrological charts are a waste of time, really.
Yeah. We're all 12 signs.
So then as I say, I posed that question to her. I feel like we are easily scripted with they put the astrological charts together on the basis of a false premise, right? But yet, there are many, many minds captivated by that astrology, right?
Yeah. But they're
So I
using the astrology
say that
to work
the
magic.
word world has given them the excuse to script the mind to see things that are not real. You can make them feel real. They almost seem real, you know.
Oh, I know what
But
you
are
mean.
they real?
All I know is my birth chart information explains exactly who I am on the inside and the outside. Western astrology, I'm a Leo. When I'm angry, I feel very Leonian. But on the sidereal side, where the planets actually are, I'm a Cancerian, which is like hard on the outside, but soft and smushy and easy to break on the inside. So I think it's both sides of me anyway. I don't know if
So
it's that way.
I'm going to now follow up with in that link that you sent me about that guy, the whistleblower in Antarctica, says that they have this machine. What do they call it, Chuck?
I'm going to download the video right now.
And they said that
I'm going to download
machine
it.
has the power to present thoughts in your head. Now that's pretty friggin' amazing.
Yeah, they do that. Yes, people think I think it's even called the voice of God. And if it's not the one you're talking about, they have one that is literally called the voice of God. And so they can get in your head and make you think you're hearing the voice of God. And then they go make their YouTube videos, their TikTok videos, and they go, I heard the voice of God, and he told me to prophesy all of this bleh, garbage, you know?
Yeah. So that's what I say about, like they could easily have got that astrological chart and all those things to even convince ourselves that that's how we are, right? Because of the script, because of the shit going on in the head. How do you know? You know?
Yeah.
So I go back to the point where if like you don't expose anything to an astrological chart, will they even think of one? You know? So I think they put in the bait. They have these little triggers there. They just put them out there in all the programming, and then the mind just attaches to them, and whatever bloody script they listen to.
Yeah.
Do either of you live far from where you were born?
Yeah, I don't live far from where I was born.
What
I
about
was
yourself,
born
Ian?
in
Where am I? Probably about 7 hours drive from where I was born.
I only asked because I know I read a book called Astrological Birth Control a long time ago that I skimmed it, but it was a book published by the same people that published a book called Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain. And the main premise of the book, Astrological Birth Control, is that there's a specific angle between the sun and the moon and the earth and you at the time and location you were born at. And that in older times, that astrological birth control was one way that they could look at those angles and make sure that you maximize and optimize your genetic mix in breeding. And so that's part of it, explains why women's cycles actually change as they move from place to place, is that your body's looking to optimize that angle and to actually create an angle to create your cycle that coincides with your birth angle. So that being said, if I were to say, if I were to look at sort of my premise on the colonization of eternity, and add that into sort of the framework of what I'm looking at, why it's important actually is that you couldn't have been born who you are to the mother that you are had she not been where she was when she gave birth to you. Right? So
wow.
I think, yeah. So I think there's more to it than we know. And in fact, if in this earth, there was a time and a place where we could die and then know that our family would rebirth us, right? That it was dangerous, I think that had something to do with that.
That would be awesome.
What was the name of that book again?
Astrological birth control.
Okay.
I'll type it into that.
I like to go back to where we first, maybe.
I got that video, Dean, just to let you know.
For me, to see, say, the likes of the Devil's Towers, for example, some of these massive mountains, and they look like bloody tree stumps. People are showing them to be looking like tree stumps. But what I get from that is that something cut them down. And so I kind of really
direct energy weapons. I
really go back to deforestation, because to me, deforestation is the key to keeping the frequencies that they want in power. If you have the natural frequencies of the earth with all the trees here, they interfere with all that shit.
It makes it colder. Now watch, when I play this video, watch what the jacket the guy's wearing. Now this is some new channel that YouTube put out, and the guy shows whistleblowers. And that raised flags in my mind too. YouTube, this guy has millions of subs. They're putting this guy out. Like when I had this channel, Free Thinkers Lounge, no other channel. Now there's Free Thinker Radio, Free Thinker this, free, and I'm like, no one had a Free Thinker anything. Now all of a sudden they're all, it's like, come on. Yeah, it's taking people. If they would have typed Free Thinkers, this would have came up, but they're like, and I'm nobody. I'm just, well, let me not say I'm nobody. I'm just, to YouTube, I'm nobody. I'm just a little channel in the corner of hell, way at the bottom. But, yeah, let me play this video and shut up. You ready?
Yeah.
I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapons system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapons systems
Yes,
is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The IceCube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapons system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Huh.
Yeah. How about them
Now, why are
apples?
they blowing the whistle? Now, my thing is, are they blowing the whistle so then the truth could be out there? And I hate that word, whistleblower. Like, what are you, a referee? Like,
Be a referee? Yeah, pretty much.
I think they put the truth out there. So, and then they twist it too. Like,
Yes.
why's he got that corny jacket on with this with Antarctica's fake landmass, right? If you look at a comment, if you look at today's Australia,
Right.
it looks just like Antarctica. It's the same fucking shape, man.
Yeah. Yep. It
Look
does.
at Australia and Antarctica on this stupid globe. It's the same shit. And then some, you know, they take our landmass, or, you know, and it's just crazy how this new agenda is being pushed that, oh, the moon, we're just a little crater in the moon, and, you know, they're completely taking away the infinite realm or the flat earth. They're just saying we're this little crater in the moon. Like, there's really no evidence of that. They're just taking the moon, picking a crater, and saying, this is us. Well, how do you prove that? But I like, what's that guy's name? I always forget his damn name. Vibes of Cosmos. His concept, his theory is pretty damn good, because he got it all mapped out, the moon, and he shows proof of the flight paths and how it all aligns mathematically. Now that guy's onto something. But this Antarctica, I brought that up because they say Antarctica. Like, if he's saying Antarctica, these direct energy weapons could be all around us. You know, the ice ring.
Yeah.
That could be the weapon used in these wars, like the melt the buildings and cut the trees down. That could have been used in these, with the wars with these giants. They could have used that type of weaponry.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know how or when, but it makes sense. These giants weren't cave-dwelling morons. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Right.
Joe Moore, peace. Michigander, peace. Lapis Blue, peace.
Peace,
I want to make
peace.
sure I didn't miss nobody. So, what do you guys think about that video? I know Dean. It's because Dean
I went to
lives in
YouTube.
season.
I went to YouTube and watched the rest of it, the whole lot.
Oh yeah, you found the whole interview?
Oh, I've seen
Sweet.
the whole interview. Yeah.
Not me. I gotta go watch it. Wow.
Yeah. I know they mix lies with the truth. So it's hard to
Yes.
say, you know, how much of it is true and how much of it isn't. I mean, my God, I've been studying the Bible for over 20 years just to find out the original thought I had was correct, that most of it's crap and there's only a few gems in there.
Right. Isn't that
I'm
a little
like-
disappointing?
I'm wondering if the earthquake, he said it was an accident that hit Christchurch, but I'm wondering if it was on purpose.
I think it
And
was
it's
on
always been on my mind, it's been on purpose, because I've done a little bit of research into it, and I found out that a company who was doing fracking
I knew it.
fracking along the coast of New Zealand on the eastern side, which is the Christchurch side, and that fracking interfered with the rock underneath the side of that side of Christchurch. Then, and I know that after that, I found out that they'd used sewage water from the ponds in Christchurch to pump down to get the oil to come back up.
Wow.
Now, what happened on the front of the of Christchurch coastline when that earthquake hit? It what's that word when you liquefied the ground? Basically, what do they call it?
Quicksand.
Yeah, it just turned it into quicksand. Houses tipped over on their sides and broke open. All sorts of shit happened.
Wow.
And the smell of sewage, they banned people from going on the waterfront because all that swampland turned into quagmire of bloody old sewage.
Well, I wouldn't want to go. You wouldn't have to tell me twice not to go. I wanted to tell me once.
But the thing is, not long after that, we had an earthquake in 2016 that rose 2 meters of seabed clean out of the bloody floor, and so there's a whole bay that doesn't even get a tide in it anymore. It's now starting to grow growth, you know.
Wow.
I reckon they did that too on purpose. So how do they terraform land? Well, that's another thing, isn't it?
I think they often call things that are acts of nature. I think they purposely switch the names on us, right? So sometimes what they do causes what they call an act of nature. And then sometimes acts of nature, they claim they did, you know? But I've often wondered about fracking in one place and how it affects.
Liquid fraction. Liquid fraction.
Thank you, Chuck.
Liquefaction. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I put to people when they show those pictures like John Levi and they say, well, how can the Leaning Tower piece of Pisa look like it does unless liquefaction happened, right?
Yeah.
Not true. But I've been telling my husband for years that how they're starting earthquakes. They're doing it by fracking, and you just confirmed. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
I got a video on that.
Oh, I want to see that bad boy. You put that in the chat?
This is what something about what Dean was saying with the oil. Check this out.
In 1983, I did radiotomography with 30 watts, looking for oil in the ground. I found 26 oil wells over a 9-state area, and 100% of the time was accurate with just 30 watts of power beaming straight into solid rock. HAARP uses 1 billion watts beamed straight into the ionosphere for experiments. Picture these strings on the piano as layers of the earth. Each one has its own frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's natural gas. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's crude oil. We were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just 30 watts of radio power. If you do this with 1 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake. In 1983, I did radiotomography with 30 watts, looking for oil in the ground. I found 26 oil wells over a 9-state area, and 100% of the time was accurate with just 30 watts of power beaming straight into solid rock. HAARP uses 1 billion watts beamed straight into the ionosphere for experiments. Picture these strings on the piano as layers of the earth. Each one has its own frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's natural gas. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's crude oil. We were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just 30 watts of radio power. If you do this with 1 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake. In 1983, I did radiotomography with 30 watts, looking for oil in the ground. I found 26 oil wells over a 9-state.
It's playing third time.
My bad.
Yeah, I figured you were probably busy doing something. But yeah, I knew they were causing it by fracking. It just made sense.
Now imagine
nothing else
on a
makes sense.
higher scale, if they
Yeah.
use that same, you could even use a guitar string if you got like high scale speaker types or an amp and shit, and you can cause earthquakes with that frequency.
Mhm.
I mean, imagine on a high scale plucking that string, boom, it'll fucking make
Yeah.
ripples on the land if you do it underground. And I think that's what they're doing with these high
Yep.
energy weapons.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
It makes me think that that's how they could cut off a giant tree too. I mean, if they can, I know we see they've done it
Yeah.
with lasers, but why couldn't they
Yeah,
pinpoint one
exactly.
frequency to just like
Yeah.
boing right through the thing, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like a big claw machine could just probably fly away with it for all we know. In
Yeah.
addition to them crashing to the
Bloody
ground.
skyhook come along and just grab it and take off with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow, I never thought of that. But
Well, yeah, it makes me wonder too if I know with the
you look at,
fracking.
you look at the logging operations they have now, they just stick a tower up on the top of a bloody knob somewhere. They have the bloody wire rope going right down the hill. And whatever's under that wire rope, you've got a bloody link. You can hook that tree. You can hook it to the tree. Cut
Yeah.
the bugger over and it'll take it away for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Go
wonder
ahead,
too.
Bax. What were you saying?
Well, I was just wondering with fracking, I know they use a lot of water, right? They tell us it uses a lot of water, but I just learned today that water has a magnetic property. The oxygen, I think it is in the water. I was watching some experiment with a magnet and some oscillation, but my point is like even though they're putting water into to make the fracking, I'll bet you they're using frequency weapons to make that water come out too, right?
Are you saying when they put that in the water and he used the magnets in a cup of water or a bottle and he pulled that black stuff out and was moving it with the magnet?
This one was actually some U-shaped magnet, almost like a, like not like a U, more like a semicircle with part missing, and the 2 points came together and they were spinning. It had spinning, but they had poured some liquid nitrogen on it. Oh, I know what it is. They poured liquid oxygen. Is that right? Yeah, it was liquid oxygen. Had a magnetic property that actually even looked blue. When it didn't stay for long. It needed something to do with the motion. But I know it made me think that this liquefaction thing, this frequency thing, when they're doing fracking and they can, I have a feeling that more water's coming out than water going in. And that's part of what causes the decay, because water goes along, water grabs water, right? Water moves along its path of least resistance, and also would, with the magnetic property in the oxygen, would be able to, you'd throw the water in, use a frequency, and and then you've got this liquefaction happening under the ground, and the water you're putting in the ground is actually helping the water you're drawing out of the, let's say, oil well now come out the other side, and everyone's like, look how much water it takes. It does. It's actually taking the water out of the ground as well, likely. You know, just a thought.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So
Got my hamster going.
but that fracking thing, I know they say, yeah, it would make, because if you think about it, when we jar things, when we can things, there can be no air above, right? And so even if, let's say, in a big underground cave of oil, you know, you've got things separating, so you got your oil, you've got your water. Over time, it's getting more and more condensed, assuming that whatever this is, this organic matter, is oil and water separating. Now above it, you've got some slimy layer, I would assume, so that you're not dealing with mold and stuff, or it's actually naturally encased like the earth, you know, in the earth with no air. So, you know, what you've got to get in there is like get the water out from on top of the, you know, it's like, it would be like blood drying in a cave, you know, not to be gross about it or anything, but I'm just saying it is a viscous, it likely was a very viscous fluid.
Well, I liken it the same way, Bex,
Yeah.
because I mean, if we look at all the giant trees and the giant with the evidences of giants being here, and if they're as say stone petrified, then they're going to have gas pockets in their guts. They're going to have different types of whatever food they had in there. It's all going to be a different mix. The alchemy of the body is going to be the alchemy of whatever is under us now, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's an important point with the rocks too, is to remember that before we started using petroleum, all study of all rocks was always called petrology, right? And it wasn't until we marketed the liquid form of rock, let's say, that they wanted to like separate that out and start calling it geology versus petrology. Now that may also be something to do with the alchemical nature of our earth changing through different time periods and different astrological celestial times, right? That's where this astrology may come in and affect what we call the periodic table. You know, why is it called the periodic table? Right? Because it's actually through different periods of the Earth's time, which we've been taught were separate from man's time, right? Like it's just hard to take that science away where they're like, oh yeah, the dirt's and the rock and the before the humanity. And even if we throw in humanity was always there, we still kind of see this we have this geological understanding instead of maybe a supernatural understanding where when our sun, you know, we say we move into the house of, or whatever these languages, Paula can help us with this perhaps. But, you know, just that idea that like maybe the sun we're looking at right now is Venus, and Venus is a star and not a planet perhaps. And maybe all these, when we look out at these other planets now, those are different reflections of our own star system in different time periods. But okay, back to the alchemical thing. That would then say, what I'm trying to say is sort of like I had this thing with, I was just trying to go back to this sort of like understanding that over time, some of these things that they teach us, you know, the metal in the rock, as it hits, as something hits it, it becomes sulfuric acid. Like that stuff happens in nature, right? These poisons are made. Yeah, and I just think that
on certain frequencies of the so-called planets or the wandering stars.
True. Yeah.
That's why they align. Remember you were saying that? I think it was you, Bex. We were talking about how the sun is aligned with gold, and what's her name said that light goes through the dirt and everything, or even, you know, the frequencies. So maybe under certain alignments, certain wandering stars, just like certain plants can't live under the moonlight, but some thrive under a full moon or a quarter moon. All that applies, just like the wandering stars could apply to metals and all that in the ground.
Well, I need
Yeah.
to go back to Venus being the sun. What?
Well, yeah, and just the idea of like when Mercury was ruling, for instance, when we were in, and again, I don't know the proper lingo, the house of Mercury, the ruling this, the
It
when
was
it's
ruling
in moon time,
because
like
they're
You know,
God.
when you were talking
Because of their
about
God.
those wandering stars then, guys, I just like had this little thought in my head, like, you imagine just for a second, like a frequency and it's zeroed out from the ground. It's eventually going to hit the dome. Will that be the flashing light? You know, and that's where it ended. You know, it couldn't go any further.
Mercury was the ruling planet, because at the time their god was, could have been Mercury, or that's why they say the ruling planet, because that planet, they had a god named after it. But I don't think for we don't know. We didn't live in them days. We could speculate, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah, they call
Yeah.
Venus, a separate planet, and they say she's the light bringer, because she shows up
morning star.
before the sun does, or the morning star because it comes up before the sun does. So I don't think that
Doesn't it
it
always
is
do
the
that?
sun. I was curious
Venus
where that
always
came
comes
from,
up
So
before
because
the sun.
I've never heard that before.
here's
Like-
how I was wondering.
Yeah, go ahead. It's all
If you
you.
picture, those lots of those pictures that Charles has had up where you've got the concentric circles and they had their Latin names, but actually we all knew that those concentric circles mapped out the different celestial bodies, right? There was like,
I
Venus
can't
and
wait
Jupiter and
To
all
be
that
able to
stuff.
show that when you say that, I can't wait.
Yeah, so
Okay.
when we have that, imagine a whole bunch of Slurpee cup lids, okay? Like stacked
Okay.
on top of each other, perfectly sized on top of that map. Okay, so superimpose those concentric circles on top of the map.
Seven heavens.
Yeah, so on top of the map with the Earth dome in the center for now, like just because that's the map that we know of our known realm, and put outside on that map, you could look at Vibes of Cosmos with the bigger moon map. That might be actually off to the side a little, but that's it.
Hold on,
My
I'll
point
show
is-
you the map. But go ahead, keep going while I get the map.
So now if we look at now imagine that map all of those domes on top of each other superimposed on a greater realm, on a greater Earth, right? And so in each of those systems, then our sun is this sun, and you've got the Saturn would be the sun of that Saturn system, or the moon map of that system. Let's just say wouldn't call it the sun necessarily again, but if the moon is related to the reflection of the sun somehow, then in fact it is, they're similar. But my point is like, so now imagine that people actually lived on all aspects of these lands, right? And somehow some cataclysm happens where somebody who lived in the plane, okay, that ring of the world out there where Saturn is in the sky, right? It's the time, the days are longer out there. Those people, they don't know their days are longer or shorter, but let's say those people move into a different concentric circle in the realm. Now you've suddenly got people who might be, say, trying to call their sun here. Like they might be actually worshiping.
There you go.
They're
That's
worshiping.
the best I could do.
Oh yeah. That's perfect. Actually, that's perfect for the Vibes of Cosmos concentric map. Yeah.
You see the outer dome?
Yeah.
Where that line's coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I wanted to say when you said the sun is Venus. I think somehow, some way, the main light is either coming from the black sun in the center, coming up and out like an umbrella. That's what I've always thought. But some people seem to think the light is coming from out of the dome, which I don't see how, but that's possible too. Now, if the light comes from the center up and out like an umbrella, that means the firmament's like a prism, and it's shooting the light up and then it puts it out in different places. But what is the wandering stars? Why do they wander on their own path and not with the fixed stars? That's what blows my mind. Like, what are the wandering stars? They're
The
on their
wandering
own.
stars are the planets and
Yeah, I
the sun,
know.
moon, and all the planets. Yeah.
I know
But
that.
they need to, I think
what allows
they're
them?
in the ocean.
What
I think
allows
they're
them
in the ocean.
to? That's
They're on
a
their
big
own mission.
Mhm.
Yeah. They do what
But
they
I think
want
they're
when
in
they
the
want.
ocean as well.
Why
Yeah.
are those the only ones that wander? It's a good question. I
But
don't
look,
know.
there is a black sun on this model. Look, I just noticed that. Where the red is, there's a black sun down there.
Yeah.
But it's not. I would love to get out of this firmament and go see. Is there a dome around the? Well, there is a bigger dome, but you know, what
I saw a
maybe the
video that
giants.
claimed
Hold on, look at. You see how this has got the bigger dome? Maybe the giants live in those outer lands, and we're domed in. We're the little gnomes and the elves, and
Yeah.
we're
That's
the.
what I've seen. That's what I've said in the past. You know how in the future, they intend to have these little smart cities. If you look at how Adrian and presents Walt Disney's, what do they call that? Walt Disney's future.
Yeah, he's using that other guy's work. I forgot his name. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but he was showing that they were going to build a city where even rain didn't affect them, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, they were going to place people into a situation where they couldn't even be affected by rain. Who's to say that we haven't been put under that same type of umbrella?
Right.
Peace, Aaron, back. Thanks for coming, bro. Aaron, back. Peace.
I saw a video that claimed that the black sun was going to come up and meet the white sun, and it was, I can't
That's
remember
racist.
the details, but when it does, when this happens, and I think it's supposed to happen within Lionsgate, with, you know, like any time, you know, between now and the 8th or 9th.
Hey, isn't there a movie company called Lionsgate? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is. But anyway, they say that's when everything will change for the better. So we'll see.
Hope so. Hey, you know how I'm glad this came to my mind. I got to say it. You know how Jay Dreamers talks about this ending coming and people floating in the sky? Now, what's that black stuff? They've been seeing
Plasma?
floating in the sky. Huh?
Plasma?
No.
No.
Me and Dean were watching this guy. Or no, Marcel would know because Marcel watches his channel. I forgot the name of that black stuff, that black goo.
Oh, shoot.
Not graphene.
Yep, graphene. Now, graphene
Yeah.
is electromagnetic. Now, what if they use that? It gets in our body and stuff, and breathing it and eating stuff, right? And then they use some sort of like technology, and it'll cause us to float in the air because they've seen graphene being magnetically. When you put a magnetic field, it'll come. You know, so they could lift us off the ground that way and be like, Jesus is coming. Yeah. They could use that to manipulate us. You know, being lifted off the ground. I could see the government going that far.
And
even having a rapture like that. Yeah.
What if these hadron colliders have something to do with the metals they throw in the sky in order to maintain that 9.8 number for gravity? Right. So when we were kids, they had like lead in everything, lead in the paint, lead in the gas, lead in the toys, lead in everything. I was like, oh no, it's poison. But that was a lot of added weight. Right. And we have like metal in our blood and metal in our body. And so then you've got like, now we're into aluminum's everywhere. Everyone's like, aluminum's bad, causes dementia. No, it's okay. We'll spray it in the sky. Now they're putting these graphene in they say there's graphene that could be in our blood. That being said, what if the lead was to deaden our telomeres, you know, and anyways, I'm just saying like there could be something to do with actually the reason we see people in the sky is like, let's say that whatever the gravitational force is suddenly less and, you know, you could just jump off the ground like trampoline, right? Like, and then you wouldn't come down with the same force either. So I wonder if it has something to do with the metals in our blood the metals they spray, the magnetic force of these 30,000 hadron colliders.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good because I mean, you got people who have practiced levitation, yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's that guy apparently in Germany who built a machine you could ride on. It was made out of all, I think, scarab beetle wings, right?
Yeah.
So they were all put together in the floor of the machine, and that became the machine. Was actually using, I think, actual beetle wings. I'm not sure about that.
It makes me wonder how many beetles are fucking tech already.
And mosquitoes. And this Tuesday, I'm doing the movie showing of 9. So whoever wants to come, I'm probably gonna upgrade, so I might have 10 seats open.
Well, you might have. How many people can sit backstage? Because actually, you can have people backstage and watching too, can't they?
Right? Yeah.
I will find out. I think so. Yeah. What's up, Kimba? Yeah, I called you earlier, Kimba, just to see how you're doing.
I know. I saw that, and I saw you were live. Okay. Yeah.
And to talk to you about. Well, I'll talk
Hey, Kimber, how are you?
It should be here tomorrow, you said. So I'm just gonna keep a lookout. So no one steals it.
I'm gonna text you. Don't worry. I'm gonna text you. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey.
I'm high and slow tonight, so forgive me.
I can tell. I can tell.
Okay, I woke up.
I'm smoking a doobie right now.
She's doobieing it up.
And now I'm here.
It's Paula's birthday, Kimba.
Oh,
Yep.
it is.
I'm 55.
Let's sing it. Come on, Kimba. Happy birthday.
Oh, I would.
He's like, no, I cannot hold a note right now.
Yeah, I thought Paula was mad at me. I'm like, where'd you go?
No, I wasn't mad at you.
All these videos of people talking shit about me.
Yeah, you'll have to get me caught up on that too, because now I'm curious. Because I don't like it when people come after innocent people.
Yeah, it wasn't just me. It was a couple other people.
I don't have details of all the other people too. London Man being one of them. I want details because that's some bullshit. Because you guys are good people. That's not even right.
I think Bex got dragged in. I don't even know how Bex got dragged. Bex has, just because Bex comes here. See, I'm not a cult. People can come and go as they please. You can go wherever you want.
Yep.
You know, I'm not gonna sit there and talk shit about someone. Look how many people used to come here that went to Ian's. I never said no. I don't look at that. That's not why I'm here to tell people I don't like you because you go here. And what the fuck? We would never get anywhere. If I dwelled on where people went and oh, you fart and it smells like cheese. My farts don't. And this dumb shit. We wouldn't get anywhere. We won't get anywhere.
Right.
Yep. Now, good on you, Chuck, for bringing it up, but I reckon we should just let it go and then to leave them to their own Greekazoid features.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just needed a break. That's what my issue was.
That's good. I know how that feels.
Exactly.
We all need a break sometimes.
Yeah.
I was at my channel though. I mean, if I ever disappear, I'll be right on my channel waiting for anybody to show up over there. So you can.
Yeah, didn't you go live today? You went live today.
I changed it.
I give you big ups, Bex, because you handled yourself and you've come back and not let it get on top of you.
Paula.
Yes.
That's
Paula.
Yeah, Paula.
Sorry, excuse me. Paula, yeah, and not let it get on top
You're not
of you.
calling me
Excuse
Pamela. Right now.
Well, actually, I think I even heard Bex get dragged into a bit of stuff somewhere too. So, you know, I think there's a fair few attacks going on that are unnecessary. They don't need to be done. But
Yeah.
And I give the big up to all those who overcome
it's being done because they're trying to destroy me. They figure if other people are attacked, they're gonna look like it's my fault because they come here. So he's trying to really have people leave my channel, destroy me. But it won't work.
Yeah, there you go.
It won't happen, Chuck. It won't happen, bro.
Well,
People who come to your channel love you for what you are, bro, and what you bring. So don't worry about it, bro.
Thank you, Dean.
See who though? And I
That's
agree with
exactly.
Dean.
Yep, that's exact.
there was Joe Cool and JJ Organics did a little thing called Mods Are Gods, or Mods Think They're Gods or something, but it was a cute little informative video. It's not cute, cute is the wrong thing, but it was well done. The title is cute. And it was a well done sort of information video about how moderators can work and the different sort of powers that could be wielded in moderate, with a bunch of mods. That being said, I feel like the last couple of weeks have sort of shown that there's actually a whole series that could be done on sort of the social construct and the tools in social media and how they can be wielded, and just the different associations and how they can affect the different associations, be it followers of channels or participants, just how crossover between channels can create people going to different channels they never would have been at in the first place, just because they're interested in the people that came over from here. And I just find it all a very interesting expose on social behavior, right? And if anything, I'm sorry if I'm speaking in circles, because I just feel like one of the ultimate things that's happened over the last couple of weeks is this kind of like censorship. It's good to be on our toes. It's good to understand what actually happens when you're going on like permanent public record on the internet, right? But I also think that there's a real kind-natured, big-hearted, good-intentioned people that end up, it's just a good microcosm for the macrocosm of tolerance of behaviors in society, right? And I feel like there's a real general concept that could be had in these communities, and with the crossover we've all had and the different interests we've all gained, and the sort of idea that there's a social aspect to this, there's a psychosocial aspect, there's a just meaning like they're studying each other in human behavior in a way that we've never had before, right? Everybody,
everybody, yes.
Yeah.
And it's like bumper cars.
Yeah. And then it's just, it's good. It's a good exercise, right? Like I would just say, for me, even as I'm just saying that there's a lot more I'd like to say, right? There's a lot more I'd like to say, but I don't feel safe, and it has nothing to do with being here. You know what I mean? And that in itself is a lesson to push through, right? Yeah. Knowing that how do we come together on behaviors, right? When we can have, people doing exactly what they claim they're calling other people out for, and yet it really comes down to,
the philosopher's stone wants to happen, wants to be born, and so
and then you've got situations where somebody wants to understand the information, but it's an impossible situation to explain, given the fact that it's just it's something that's to be studied, I would say, and I don't like feeling like some self-proclaimed modern day Mr. T, right? is the fucking boss of me. It's insane. It's insane. It's beyond insanity. It's sad, like, so.
But I was telling you, with us bumping heads and everything, it's that philosopher's stone poking at all of us.
Well, to be honest, Paula, it's a perfect example, right? It's a perfect example of, you know, whatever, however you and I if we needed to for the group have a discussion right here, we totally would. Paula and I have had multiple discussions in other places, or at least one, and and I'm happy to talk more. But what I'm saying here is that's a natural grace, right? I could even sit here and talk about similarities between characters, myself and the person, the person that called us out, myself and Paula and the person calling us out, like we could all lay down on the table, like our good points, our bad points, our abilities to be accountable, right? But we didn't necessarily come online to do any of that, and that's the exact drama and the energies, the arguing, the freaking out, like that kind of chemistry comes from some of these other panels that, that then while people are building and also doing like these holy social weirdo experiments, it just creates for it's really unfortunate. It's a good lesson for us all, but
well, and I knew that was going to happen when the other group showed up to start causing like a marble effect, shoot this marble into a whole bunch of other marbles. That's going to cause chaos. And so that's one thing I don't appreciate that happened to all the YouTube communities, because we would have found each other naturally as we were drawn to each other. But to just kind of be forced into it, which was how it felt to me. We were forced into it. And so that's why I said earlier that it's kind of like bumper cars or whatever that's called, when the cars, you have an actual car and they're all like ramming into each other. And that's what it ended up becoming. And that's what I needed a break from. And we need to definitely get past.
Well, and I hope you understand. I hope you understand.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope you understand, Paula. The only reason I drew the likeness is because of this other big, big
the other
event,
thing going on,
that occurred,
yes.
right? Like, yeah. Not that I didn't think, but I just, if I really think about it and look at my own behaviors, right, then I could say that with a smaller sense of energies, I probably, to look at the similarities, right, like. The same thing that had me be like not answering McCoy's yes or no question was the same thing that had me, stuck on reverent. Same thing that has like an outsider could say same thing has some chip on another content creator's shoulder. But the difference is that there was there's bit non-bits being created in chat and in social dynamics, right? That from that content, from those content creators, and there's not just one of them, there's a bunch of them. They're enjoying it, right? They're expanding their channels. They're but I didn't come on here to have, I'm very grateful for the lessons. I'm grateful to even see right now as I'm trying to hash through it, because like I said, I appreciate this, Charles, but like I'm just gonna say, like, if like I wish I could unleash, like the jokes that I have, right? I'm not, the jokes that I have in my head, like fuck, but it's not a laughing matter, it's just, but it is about moving on, right?
It really isn't. Yeah, it's not.
It is about moving on and getting back to getting back to building. When people show, that's why I appreciate you being here, Paula. I do. I appreciate. I think I it's graceful.
I had fun last night on G Sharp's channel with you last night. That was a surprise. Yeah. I
appreciate the open-hearted and forgiving nature of our friends too. And and I look forward to like building. You know what I mean? And
getting back to building, yes. Before the other marbles came in. Yes.
Can't we all just get along?
Get a bong and get along, right? Okay, you guys were on G Sharp's live, really?
Oh last night. You got to go see it. Okay. She was checking her audio, and then somebody from live chat was like, "Well, this is a long audio check." She put the share link or the join link out in live chat, and Bex clicked it, and then I clicked it, and it went for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
worry,
think
Bex. You're always welcome here, and you're always loved here.
That's awesome.
And that's
Oh
a good
yeah,
thing.
we enjoy your part of the build because you always bring something to it, the table,
She still
every
has
time.
me mind, Brian, from some of the things she just said in the little bit of time that we've been here. Hour 20 minutes. How ironic. An hour 20 minutes in. All that just got my mind reeling, like the whole Venus sun thing and just all that other stuff. I'm just like, wow, there's smoke coming out of my ears, man. Got some pondering to do.
That's why I like to listen intensely, because when people talk, it will expand my mind. It will bring back memories for me. It will help me
Yeah.
remember things and then put things together. And I'll be like, oh my. And all I had to do is listen all along. A lot of times I'll be busy running my mouth, and I'll be like, yeah, listen.
But at the same time, you're joining dots, and that's the marvelous and the beauty of it, isn't it? You know.
Yes.
Exactly. Helps.
Yeah, I much prefer connecting the dots than playing marbles. That's for sure.
Yeah, marbles. Right?
Yes.
Let's see if my marble take your marble out. Let's go. Oh, that's kind of how it feels like sometimes with people. Let me see if my marble can take your marble out.
Yeah, I was never big on the whole marbles thing, but I loved connecting the dots.
Yeah, that's the good part about it all, is connecting the dots.
Yes. And we can't connect the dots, and I think that was the whole purpose of the whole thing happening, was because it's a cause and effect thing. It's science. It had to happen though. So that's why the hurt feelings need to just go back to sleep from whence they came, because that's why I'm back here, because I'm better now, because I thought of this. Cause and effect is science. It happens because we have been working for so many years, me alone, 10 years at least, on YouTube and other social media, has been working on this spiritual growth and sharing what I learned with others, and so have you guys. Well, as we do that, the negative forces are going to want to come over and knock us all off of our track.
Yes.
And then everything's confusing, and then we start running into each other, and then it gets ugly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was going to happen because we're trying to come up, they're trying to bring us back down. And we can't let them do that.
They couldn't bring us down if we were helium balloons. They shot at us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back is killing me.
We got a lot of hot air right here just in this live right now.
Hot, passionate air too, I reckon. I mean, I you know what you're talking about. You say all these years. During the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, I got involved. Well, late 80s, I got involved with Greenpeace, of course. But then when that sort of got hit by the Rainbow Warrior, got sunk and all that, and then administration came into the being, I left that sort of thing, and I went to start writing letters to the editor in the paper about the poisoning program they had in New Zealand, because of how much destruction to the native population that was happening, as well as what they were trying to eradicate, which were rats and possums. But the New Zealand's say landscape, we had no animals other than lizards or bats here.
Wow.
There were no before man came along, you know, like Western man, and bought rats. You know, the rats were the first, and even then they became bush rats. And because they were such a minority, they never got out of hand. It's not until Western ships started bringing rats from England that things changed.
I seen a rat. I think it was this morning or yesterday morning. Oh man, in the bigger part of the city, this thing was like a kitty cat. It scared the shit out of me. But it didn't look mean, like it wanted to bite. It was just hopping along, and I'm like, damn, they're getting bold coming out in the daytime, walking down the street.
Yeah.
They get hungry. I think that's the biggest thing. Hunger is what drives them to bring them out. But
I think
most of those big rats you'll find are usually associated with water rats. They'll live around the water, and that's why they can get that bigger proportion of body, because of the old swimming, and that's what swimming does for. You know, you look at a bloody guy that does butterfly. He's all shoulders, right? So yeah, but the rats are probably the ones that can get out of hand the quickest. You know, wherever there's a food source, they can grow in numbers so quick, because you know they can have 7 babies at a time or even more, and they can all breed within 3 months of being born themselves, right?
Right.
Yep. I'll bet you even sooner
sorry,
now.
I'll mute me mic. I've got a bit of background. Excuse me.
TV. Oh
No, flatmate.
Oh,
Yeah, Dean
I
doesn't
got
have
it.
electricity. Well, not like that, I don't think. Or does he have TV? I don't think so.
Dean,
Not never not.
Yeah.
Dean warms his house with fireplaces, old school, man. That's the best way to go, because the government says, well, you won't be able to heat your home with electricity. Dean can say, go fuck yourself. I can heat my house with firewood.
Exactly.
Biatch.
well, they're covering every base, and I've seen it over the years before even this stuff started. They're talking about taking away people's wood burning stoves, shutting down their fireplaces, and telling them they can't do
They
any of
already
it.
have. In Connecticut, they made it a housing code, and 99% of everyone's fireplaces, even in a home, even a house you own, have been taken out. So you can't burn wood, except wood burning stoves, because someone I know has one. In case shit gets hectic, they'll be able to heat their home. But
Gonna take them.
yeah, they been planning
In
for
New
this.
Zealand, they're
so they can
changing
fuck
over
us
to heat
over.
pumps. Sorry, in New Zealand, they're changing us over to heat pumps slowly, but you know, the farming community, the people who live rural, fires are not going to change out of there, buddy.
Yeah, who's the government to tell us we can't do this and do that? They're supposed to be working for the people here in America. They better get their shit together.
Yeah, I seen a TikTok video. The guy was saying in a smart ass way with a smirk on his face, and he was right. So you're telling me you're not going to do anything that I ask you to do, and you're going to try to tell me what to do? Well, then you're fired, and you don't work for me anymore. And so you cannot tell me what I can and cannot do. And that's what you do
there's even a heat pump in this place, you know,
when you
put
grow
into
up and
this
become an
place.
adult. You snap on them. You know? We need to divorce them bastards. They're not doing a damn thing for us. They're only concerned with themselves, and they're fired.
Well, they are fired in my mind, Paula. And as far as I'm concerned, they have no authority over me, and I'm still going to carry on doing what I'm doing.
That's
Yeah.
right. Tell them, Dean. We had enough. These people are gonna, and we're coming for them, all of them. And I don't mean this in a violent way. I'm saying other
No, what
people
we're
want
going
them
to do is we're
hung,
not coming
burned
for them. We're
alive.
just going to tell them that they have no authority over us, and just
Yeah.
tell them, right?
We're gonna
Because
do more
they
than
don't.
that. They need to be locked in the prison cell for life, and their grandson's
Wow.
life, and the next life.
They'll run out of bloody jobs to do if they got nobody to look after.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know, I could say they could be strung to a tree and hung, but I'm being nice. Because that's what they deserve for what they've done. What they've done is worse than any criminal in prison right now, for the most part, except for chomos and rapists. Oh, I said that word. For crapists.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Papers.
Stupid word.
Yeah.
Yeah, those people are evil that do stuff like that, man. But the government and these corporations are worse. They're no better than them. You know, if you could dump chemicals in a river and poison people, or put it in their food, which is even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I don't
That's
care when
pretty
people
sad.
say, "Well, you buy it, so what?" It shouldn't even be on the shelves, according to FDA.
You know, I think that awareness thing, what we're just talking about, and the fact of how we relate it means, but is a big thing. And you know, when Bex was just talking before, she said, you know, like we can move on from that. Well, if we move on from blaming and that of them, and then just concentrate on getting our messages out without any, what'd you call it? You know, you're still going to have to reference that there's some element, right? But if we don't attach this same, what I call like a net, it catches people's like a trigger. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's where we're getting caught up and we're losing it, because that's where we get, it's just like the flat earth thing. You know, you can say everything's flat. Well, bugger it, I know it's not. You know, I know there's plains and valleys and hills and gullies. So if you try and say it's flat to somebody who can only see plains, hills, gullies and valleys and mountains, he's just going to laugh at you.
Now you're stuck.
Right.
Yeah, now you're stuck. Now you're going. You're going. Yeah, stuck. Yeah, we ain't going nowhere. It's like treading wheels in mud. We ain't going nowhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Go nowhere. Thank you.
Nowhere.
Yes.
Yes. It's like go.
Well, I don't think they mean flat.
I just got a burst of energy.
But yeah,
Did you? Oh, okay.
nice.
I just had to go water my plants in the shed. My auto plants are going very, very. They're going in slow motion, and I don't know why. Because they only.
You're going in slow motion. You got to
Well,
speed it up, Kimbo.
That too. But besides they only take 60 or 90 days to grow. It's been a month, and they're
That's
like,
it. What are they?
because they're autos.
Well, maybe they're just going to grow a whole bunch really fast.
Herbs.
Yeah,
Herbs.
I gotta get my
Nice.
medicine growing here, because the dispensary is ripping me off. They charge me an arm and a leg at the dispensary. Yeah, so
Yeah, they are a ripoff. They're selling you chemicals, but hey, Florida should have been had legal grow and stuff. Considering a lot of patients that have cancer go to Florida, so they could retire their life there.
I question, Chuck, whether they bloody lowered the rating rate of the quality of the stuff, and so you get, you know, you're working off a lower rate instead of the bloody rates we used to have. Because I'm sure THC is not as strong as it used to be. right?
Yeah. I'm not saying that, Kimbo, to make fun of people. I'm just saying that's true. A lot of people go to Florida because it's nice down there, you know?
No,
And
I know.
it's quiet for the most part in the rich areas, and they could retire in peace.
Yeah. No,
Like my mom.
it's funny 'cause a lot of people say that you go to a lot of people say you go the rich people go to retire to Florida. I mean, go to Florida to retire, and I always laugh at that.
Well, my mom, they put her on a beach up here in Connecticut. It's called a hospice, or whatever the fuck them dumb places are where people suffer. But she got to die on like a beachfront hospice. But anyway.
At least her view was of the ocean, I hope.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think about this cancer thing I brought up, Dean? How I said a lot of people that have cancer. If you look at like the rates of people up north, most of the people with cancer are where it snows. If you look at like Cuba, Dominican Republic, wherever they haven't been hit with the jabber, they don't have cancer really in the places. Puerto Rico, it's always up here. Like America, Europe. I know why.
I'd like to add on that then. I'd like to add on that because several years ago, you know, I was kind of really right into the Bible and the flood. And so I was looking at like all the different levels, and I was thinking all this got laid down by water, and of course it did. But I was looking at the different layers, right? And then I sort of thought, well, okay, so the Earth's got a memory of different things, but what about ice and snow? So I started looking into ice and snow, and you know that Greenpeace years ago, they did core samples in the ice in Antarctica, and they could read different layers of carbon, like how much carbon was actually in the atmosphere and how much was actually getting to Antarctica. And, you know, you could read just different levels of like when there was a lot of fires, say from volcanoes, that left its memory in the snow, which then became compacted ice. And so, you know, over time we've had this layer of memory of ice and snow, and you can go and read that if we want to, you know. And it's there. And so that's why I say, you know, when you're talking about the ice and snow causing cancers and such, is it possible that there are carcinogens that are landing on the ground that are doing that sort of stuff, you know, and are people actually digging up what they call ice pockets and using it for drinking water, and it's actually fucking got something in it that they shouldn't be drinking, right?
That's very possible. But we get this, you know, we all get rained on and snowed on eventually. So I'm not sure that's the problem. I think the cancer spreads because of what's in your food. Because some things are allowed, well, a lot of things are allowed in our food here in America. But in other countries, they don't have as many sick people, much less cancerous people, because they're not being fed all those carcinogens and shit.
And they're probably not actually out in the bloody countryside exercising and working. They're probably sitting on their bums in the couch, buddy, because it's cold and snow outside, and they're not used to going out there. So they just sit at home. I mean, I know that attitude exists because my brother went and lived in the States, and when he was there, you know, wintertime come, you buddy got your cows in, you put everything in the barn, you shut your bloody, you know, there's too much snow on the ground to do anything. You harvested all your bloody goodies and you put your bloody stocks away, and you lived on that over winter, right?
And I would say that it being in the water and it being in the food is the same premise, because the food is made from the water. So I think it's the same. You guys are on the same page there 100%. And then I would say, like, it's important to understand in medicine the words that they use, like itis, for instance, means inflammation, right? So hepatitis means inflammation of the liver. Appendicitis means inflammation of the appendix. It's not the name for the cause of the inflammation. You know, oma, I was just thinking about it, must mean like encapsulated roundness, sort of like, because a hematoma is like when you have that bump when you've bruised yourself, and it forms like a round lump that doesn't, then it bursts and forms the bruise later. But that's because you burst your blood vessel and it healed so quickly it didn't actually bruise, but it formed its own little, I don't know, like little bubble, I guess, until it bruises. That's a hematoma. Blastoma, I think, is like a cancer tumor that's encapsulated, right? So, or something like that. Like, but cancer is an interesting term because the term cancer comes from the word canker, right? And a canker sore is a festering wound, like our canker sores we had in our mouths as kids, you know. And I don't know, my dad had this powder you put on. I've told this story before, but I do know that cancer is actually a very, very general term for inside unwellness, right? And that's why it can be stage 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yeah. That's why it can be like systemic. That's why some illness that didn't get encapsulated can go from, you know, it spread, because it didn't, you know, they're like canker sores, right? They're like festering wounds that the body can't encapsulate. And the organ didn't necessarily just become inflamed from, you know? So yeah, I think it's the one thing about canker sores is they can disappear as quickly as they came. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have like acidic wounds in us at all times. But what we know to be cancer is typically tumored things that the tumors aren't holding, right? Where your body's trying to encapsulate poison, right? To then have it excised ideally. But what they do is they go in and they poke what they know is poison to do a biopsy. Well, if it's poison, then it will spread. Right? From the biopsy. Most likely, you know?
So they're like, let us know when you make it worse. Yeah. Let us know when you make it worse and make it spread, right?
Yeah. And I think if anything that makes me the most angry about the term cancer is that it's so general, right? And then and it's where all, like, I had my neighbor, God rest her soul, my good friend, and landlord for a long time. You know, she got just before, actually, was it just after 2020? Yeah, she was diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer. And I've never been into the cancer wing of the hospital, right? And the ingenuity and the machines and the libraries and the counselors and the money, and that you'd think it was like the birthing wing. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I couldn't think of the word right now. You know, the you'd think it was
maternity.
And so maternity. Thank you. Yeah. You know, but it's just, that's what makes me angry, right? Is that there's very specific illnesses, you know what I mean? That, and unwellness that with the amount of money we have and can invest in and do invest in wars in this planet, you know, there has always been the ability to source out and help people in their unwellness beyond what they're offering us in their fancy wards, you know? Yeah. And I'm not sure why I'm not, you know, well, I do know why. I'm just trying to come more from a central approach, you know, but that's what makes me the most angry about that. It's like same with hepatitis, you know, people are like, oh, I've hep C. There's so many ways to get hep C, right? Like, it's not one
sharing needles or whatever,
you know. Well, and just the idea that one person's hep C is the same as another person's hep C.
Right.
But don't get me down the hep C info train. Okay. Like, you know, anyways, yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but even
but I hear
actually,
ya. I hear
yeah.
you. Oh, yeah.
So,
I've been down all those too, so I'm there with you. I get it. It just makes your head want to friggin' explode.
Yeah.
It's so insane, and oh my God. Ugh.
Do you guys remember back in the day? I forgot when it was, and it was a long time ago. I saw the video or the information. They had some sign, some big sign that said something like "Get your free cancer." I had to walk away, so I wasn't here the whole time. That said, like, "Get your free cancer." Like they actually had a billboard on the road that said "Get your free cancer."
was it
Well,
missing
sounds
the
like
word?
And the more I
Was it
saw
missing
that,
the
I
word
was like,
screening?
"What's that?"
was it
Was it
missing the
missing
word
the word
screening?
Mm.
Well, it could have been smartasses like me that went and bought a billboard and directed it towards a certain place, you know. I would say food, you know, and get your free cancer here, you know. They could have been
Yeah.
being smartass
Oh
too.
yeah.
It was so long ago, but when I saw that, I was like,
If I had money for
you
billboards,
know,
I'd be
make
doing
you
shit like
question
that.
it. Like, is it real or was it created? You know, I was like, oh, please don't tell
Oh,
me.
it was created. It was, cancer was created in a lab. Most things are.
Yeah. So then, then it was a while ago, like when I first started down all these stupid rabbit holes. But yeah, I went
Yeah.
down this thing with, they had the sign saying "Get your free cancer." And I was like, really? They put it like right in your face, like get your free, like a big old damn sign. I'm like
a billboard? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, really? I'm like, you can't make this up. Yeah, that's why you say you wrap your head around all this. That's insanity. It really is. I mean, and I was just saying today, and I think you said it a while ago, Paula. I was saying earlier today, because I was just in a mood earlier today. And I was saying to myself, I was like, it's just, no one even dies of like, well, maybe some people do, but so far from what I'm seeing, not many people even die of natural causes anymore. Most people are dying from mass genocide, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, they don't die. And that's the thing, too. I said this in another channel. I'm going to say it here. The reason that we keep coming back is likely because we don't get to finish our life, our class. It's like when you die, you have skipped class. You don't get to finish your learning session or whatever you came here to do, or both. You came here to learn things. You came here to do things. And when we're like unresolved, we feel that need to come back so that we can have the chance to finish it, but we never get to finish it. That's why Biden and the crew are using the words, let me finish the job. Bitch, you don't let me finish my job. You think I'm gonna let you finish yours? You let me finish my job.
They want to put everybody in that New World Order umbrella.
Yeah.
Play this video. What about? Well, we'll talk about this after. Wait, didn't I just pull a new video up? I wanted to share. Hold on.
I do know.
That's why they're pumping out all those commercials for government assistance all over the place. They want you reeled in.
Yep.
Oh man.
Hold on. Was this it?
Meanwhile, in the Netherlands, if you're on disability, they're gonna put you down.
Listen to what this guy says about cell phones. This isn't a movie. Cell phones, and then he talks about I think TikTok or something. Watch. I got this from the new movie called damn it, what's the video game I used to play? Anyway, let's play it.
I don't like it. Probably have low blood sugar.
How do you know that?
Saw it on TikTok.
You need to get off medical TikTok. T'es déjà assez névrosé.
Hey, mais j'ai besoin de parler, and every time I talk, the phone hears me, and I get more medical TikToks.
Then you should delete TikTok.
Well, that's a terrible idea.
Allez, on y va?
Allez. I don't like it. Probably have low blood sugar.
That's from the movie. He said the phone. He said when he talks about medical stuff, his phone hears him. It shows him a lot of medical stuff. And he was
Yeah.
talking about TikTok too, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's in the new movie. Damn it. What the hell is the movie? They had a video game I used to play
Interesting
called.
talk, though. I can talk about something with my husband and then go to Facebook and check the newsfeed, and there it is.
Resident Evil. It's the new
That
Resident
bloody
Evil.
world capable of so much stuff. Shit, yeah.
That's the. Didn't y'all see the new video I put of Resident Evil in my
Yeah, I saw the clip. Yes.
Yeah. When he talks about nano something, he has like little mosquitoes that were biting. It's in the new movie where he would send these like nano insects. And they would bite them and turn them into zombies. And,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
crazy. The guy's like, "You're gonna kill everyone," and he goes, "Everyone," or basically explaining just the people he chooses, so he could assign them to certain people. And when they find them, they'll bite them.
Well, when they kill you, don't go into the light and start cleaning up around here. Go take out the trash. You know, do what you want to do. Don't go into the
I'm
light.
gonna take it out now. I don't want to wait till I'm dead. I want to do it now.
I know that's what everybody keeps saying, but nobody's doing anything. All they're doing is making videos. And I'm 55, so I can't do a whole lot.
I'm nearly 70, and I can tell you, if you can separate the world out of your bloody mind, you'll get along for a lot further.
I'm ready myself, Paula, but most
Yeah.
of these people want their fucking go-karts and their
They're all
houses. They'll
fluoridated.
never all.
There are all sorts of tricks and
Well,
traps. And
they're all fluoridated and docile. They can
wanna
get
eat.
angry, and that's about it. Yeah.
They want to eat contaminated cereal and water, and they won't stop because they got their little Ferrari in their house they'll never own. I pay my taxes. Yeah, you will be paying them to your dead. So will your son, your son's son, and your son's son if you don't get your shit together.
Yeah.
They want to make it so when you die, your children have to pick up your debt.
Yeah, screw that. I will smite a motherfucker. Number one, I don't have any debt, but if I did, you're not going to make my child pay for it. And if my child has debt, you're not going to make my grandchildren pay for it. No. Not happening. So, yeah, I mean, worst comes to worst. I just won't go into the light, and I'll stay here, and I'll just take care of business. Because I am just that angry. And that's another thing, you know, we're all super stressed out from the shit the world is putting us fucking through. And we can't stop them. So that's why we're so frustrated. Because of this crap going on around us. Oh. But like
yeah,
I
you
said,
try to talk about Trump or anyone, you try to point them out, they'll defend them to the day they die. These people, they never met them. They don't know them personally. Just like these Hollywood people, they'll defend them to the day they die. I know a friend who had a friend that went to high school with them. They don't even know these people, but they'll defend them. They could be the worst of the worst, which most of them are, behind closed doors. Just like it reminds me of the Bible. These people defend this guy in the book, but they won't defend their own mother most of the time.
Right.
Well, you've led the question, and I mean, you've led that point to the Bible, and you say it's like the Bible. And for me, I am pretty strongly of a mind to say that if it wasn't for the Bible teaching in the English language in the first place, would we have the same way of looking at this place as we do? Because You know, if
Yeah.
I've looked at a lot of different pictures from John Levi, say, other people who somebody showed pictures of, might have been Campbell from Autodidactic, other channels like that. I think Jared Boosters is another one, but you can see different photographs of orphans getting on trains, and they were all given a book, and it wasn't any book, it was the bloody Bible, guaranteed. And I asked my mother how she learned to spell, and she learned by learning from the Bible. Everybody in New Zealand learnt from the Bible in those times. Everybody learnt that the script that we now live to out of that Bible. And if anybody can grasp what I'm saying, is that you could have any number of scripts in your head, you know, by a different writer and a whole different scenario, and you could live with that too, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel that that's been well planned. It was done. It was done as a planned operation, and I also feel that by that planned operation, they are now able to manipulate us with the understanding of worlds, because it's over 100 times. I don't know how many, 130, 140. Phil knows how many times the word world is referenced in the Bible. And I dare anybody to say that go and have a look at how they illustrate that word in sequence of words, and you will see they are initiating the word world in as a replacement for the earth. And that's how I see it, and that's how I've always seen it. And I'm not going to I'm not going to give up on that mode of thinking, because I believe our earth has been forsaken over that Bible. And I also feel that that's how we lose our inheritance, not by actually losing it, because we do actually lose it, but we mentally lose it too, because we give it to the world. We you know, our mind is already worlded. And I think I actually spoke like this on Ian's channel one of the first times I ever got up on a live. And if we were to just try and separate our minds so that we don't see the earth as a world, but see it as this earth realm that we exist on, from wherever we came. You know, I feel like we've come back. Yes, we loop back because of whatever they've done to our bloody minds. But surely there's something here maybe more beautiful than just, say, this bloody ugly infrastructure that they've shoved in front of our faces to say that this is the world that we have built. But what is it? It's just total pillaging, total plundering of resources that the earth has. And I mean, look at the bloody thing. Even the internet now is just clogged with anything that becomes a resource, right?
Yep.
So, you know, we're infiltrated with this bloody bullshit narrative that's got nothing to do with where we should be.
They're the ones drilling the damn oil, but they're going to blame us and cows.
Yeah, they put the blame put the blame on me, you know? I mean, fuck, that's what they do. Yeah.
That's why we gotta
I'm
buy
not
them a
putting the
mirror.
blame on me, but yeah.
We gotta buy them a mirror. For Christmas, we're gonna buy them all a mirror. When they start pointing their fingers, slide that mirror in front of them.
If you look at all the movies and that, and
Huh,
all
I have
the
a
way
little
laws
hand
set
mirror.
up,
I will
everything's
absolutely
set
do
up
that.
around that thing.
I wished I'd have thought of that mirror thing when I was growing up in that house with those people, because I so would have done a slow motion arm swing on it. Here, there's your mirror. You know, like, here's your sign.
Hey, how do you burn wood? You got a wood burning stove, or do you got a house, a chimney? Like,
Oh, I got a bloody wood fire, but it's set in the wall. I'll just turn my camera on so you can hopefully see it.
hold on,
Yeah.
let's make it bigger. Yeah, it's winter time over there. That's so weird to me, man, for you to have a winter in August.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's 41st. I mean, there's lambs already, so it's the beginning of spring, you know.
No! That means ours is ending. Like Homer would
Can you
say,
see?
no. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Mm. Yeah, I enjoy it. I love, well, the other thing about fires too is that, you know, the heat pumps are all right, they give you warmth and that. But you really need it dehydrated to get rid of the moisture. So you sort of got having to run 2 units. But if you got a fire and it's an open fire, like, I mean, this is meant to be closed, meant to shut the door and all that. But while I'm here, it's open, and so that fire gets into all the rooms, and it is its own humidifier, right? And like 2 days ago, every window in this room was damp, and the reason was that we had a source of wood that had got a bit damp, and the dampness from the wood was coming out through the bloody vents and going into the rooms and causing condensation on the windows. And so yeah, I mean, I had a fire the night before and last night, and I got this. I mean, we've got no condensation now, you know, just how quick it can disappear. And it didn't cost me anything other than getting a bit of firewood, you know.
Nice.
Man, you just had a whole bunch of noise in your microphone there, Chuck. I don't know what it's doing. Yeah, whenever somebody talks now, it's making like a whole bunch of noise. It's not yours, per se, because when you talk, it doesn't do that. But when Dean was talking, and then when I started telling you about it, it started doing it again. That's a new one for me. I don't think I've witnessed that glitch in the Matrix or whatever this place is.
Yeah. Well, however they've made this Matrix to be, yes, it's an interesting not concept. It's an interesting position to be in, because there's, I mean, you know, you could even say that the truth of the Bible says that we will see wonders and amazing things. Well, you know, it's going to be true to word, because they're building a world to do just that, you know, even if it takes a little bit of trickery using holograms and technology, you know, but they'll master it, you bet, you know.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the fake Jesus fall in the clouds. People are going to be like, oh my God, he's here.
Fake
Yep. It's Jesus.
When Jesus said jump off a bridge, you'd see a whole line of idiots.
Yep.
If the TV told people to get a jab in their forehead, they would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, I'm one of the first guys to ever introduce me to the idea of the New World Order and Agenda 21 at that stage. Said to me, whatever you do, don't get caught up in that shit, Dan. And then, hello, we got bloody, you know, world catastrophe. And he goes and takes the bait. Oh, I can't believe it.
There's this younger generation kid. Today I was listening to a radio show by this guy, You God from Wu-Tang, but he has his own podcast. I'm listening, and this young kid said, he was talking about putting a diaper on the face, because that's coming back in full circle now. And he was like talking shit about people who don't got diapers. And he said, basically, how dare that person, if they got to share the same air I breathe, they should have a diaper on their face. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Right?
You're supposed to get sick. That's how your body identifies. If you whatever. I don't do medical advice, but I'm just saying, like.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta know, guys, that when the baby's in the cot and it's early hours of the morning, and it's got up. It doesn't matter girl or boy. Their hand goes into nappies. You know, I mean, Maureen told me about bloody walls painted with feces. You know.
What?
And so babies are immunising themselves every day when they walk around on your floor and you've got a bit of fluff on their fingers or they're outside in the dirt. Crikey, my brother used to, when he was really young, if he could crawl to the chicken house, he'd go down there and eat chicken shit, you know. I bet he'd hate me telling that, but, immunity today,
hear me now?
people are so damn, yes, we can, Chuck. People are so fussy about things that they have to clean so hard. But if you were watching your baby and you were running around, I mean, today they're running around, they're cleaning the baby's hands, the immunity's just fucking not there. But anyway, 20 years ago, kids grew up in the dirt 30 years ago. Nowadays, they grow up on concrete, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They grow up on fucking lies. That's what they grow up on. A bunch of lies. And like you said, Dean, you need all these germs. That's why, when I was younger, I'd put the car in my mouth. And I used to roll around in the cat box. No, I'm joking. But you need germs. So your body could identify, allegedly, right?
Yes, and then combat them, right? Exactly.
Yeah, that's what my doctor said.
Yeah.
What's that? Anyone cooking food? I need some. No, I just ate.
Oh, no.
What time is it?
Oh, that's me.
I'm gonna end this live stream at 12 midnight.
Okay. No,
That's why I'm leaving now, Jack.
Okay, you got your box together ready.
Hey, Dean, we gotta do
time and when I have to go watch a video, so a birthday
me and
gift.
Dean did part 1. Me and Dean gotta do part 2 and 3. He's got a lot to talk about, man. His interview is gonna be good. I really had to ask the questions. Dean already knew the questions, like
right.
Boom, boom, boom. A whole hour, you're just knocking it out. But there's so much to talk about that. His interview is going to be a couple hours long.
I like that. I really like that. It'd be neat. I like learning more about.
Yeah.
About my friend.
Renegade.
Yeah.
Renegade's the other one I'm going to interview. Renegade, and then I don't know who's after that. But I do want to interview more people after Dean and Renegade.
It's nice to know the people you communicate with and a little bit about them. I've heard a lot you talk about yourself, Bex. And it's like a testimony, isn't it? It's your storybook, Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of look back my life. I kind of look at it as a painting. I said this once to Maureen's daughter when she had cancer and she passed away. But I said to her, life's like a painting. We have our black days. We paint dark, bloody brush strokes on it. And then, we have bright days and we have colourful days. And, it's like the chapters, something can happen and you can start a whole new chapter. And I sort of
That's a good title, Dean.
Maureen and I started our new chapter together nearly 7 years ago on my birthday. So, I think when I look at my life and I look back over, I've got a colourful one. It started out a little bit bleak maybe and a bit dark, but well, I've come
That's
a
a good
long
title.
way. I'm really quite happy with how it turned out, really. And
I'm gonna name it the
now
Book
I
of
know
Dean.
what really is the enemy. I'm going to just let that enemy steer clear. I'm going to steer clear of the bastard, and that's all there is to it. Because it's more than I can shake, and more than I can tackle. But if I don't acknowledge it, it can't affect me. If I don't, it's like I don't acknowledge that type of authority over me. I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm.
I've had bloody almost 70 years where I've rebuked authority, and I'm still here, and I would say I've had a colourful life. Yeah.
You're roaring like a lion.
Mm-hmm.
Dean, I'm gonna name it the Book of Dean. I'm not gonna say an interview with Dean Pendle. I'm gonna say the Book of Dean Pendle.
Nice.
The title of it.
Yeah, I'm happy for that because years ago my mother told me to write a book about my life. She says, "You've done so bloody much, Dean." I mean, the trouble is, you see, early part of my life I went through so many bloody jobs because of authority, really. And so because I rebuked authority so much that I probably did a lot more than than I would have done if I'd been just a couch potato. But looking at it like that, But I started off as farming. Well, Dad taught. He did things. He didn't taught me. He would say, "All right, we're going to put poles in the ground. We're going to build a shed today." And so we'd build a bloody shed. It wasn't go and get a bloody certificate to learn how to do it. It was just do it. And he had the bloody knowledge, and he just tell you what to do, and we built a bloody shed and put the bloody roof on it, and then we put bloody walls on it, and then we put power into it. I mean, but we didn't have to go and get anybody to help us do it, right? And so that's how I grew up, and as a young fella, and then to go on with my own life, I've even been a manager of farms. I've been on fishing boats. I've been proactive in fights against different things that are happening in this country.
Oh.
And health, yeah, and being proactive at promoting health, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, and I look back at my mother. I think I got my line of thinking off my mother because she was proactive with our country. They were milling the west coast of the South Island. That's a vast.
That's how it was back then for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Mum actually put a fight up. They were milling this bloody great vast bloody area of native black beach that had been there however long, I don't know. But it might have been 100 years, it might have been 500. These trees were up for bloody milling, and Mum's, she belonged to a parish in Auckland, and she was very Christian. And
I
hear
crumbling of a chip bag.
Oh, sorry, I'm on the joint.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody was eating. I was like, you didn't give me none?
No, I'm rolling to do it. Yeah, anyway, so Mum was very proactive in that. And so this parish had heard about this, and I was on New Zealand news anyway. And so they got together and amalgamated as a parish, as different people, and they all put in, I think it was $10,000 each. Mum put in 10 grand, I know that. And some might have put in more, but they bought that land and they put it into a reserve, so it couldn't be milled, right?
Interesting, Dean.
So yeah, that's why I think I got my countless things for the earth for, because I look at deforestation as a real disaster to this place. If you look at what happened in the Americas when it was the 1930s and 40s when they had Dust Bowls. I think it was 30s because help cause the depression.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, Chuck, but there was Dust Bowls. It might have been after the depression, but
that was from the farming. What they did was, when they killed all the buffalo and stuff, a lot of the farmland, the prairies, turned into a desert because there was no more.
Yeah, they burnt the grass off, and they burnt it off so nothing could eat it. And that was to genocide all the bloody Indians by starving them from having buffalo, right?
I got pictures, Dean, of, I think it's L.A., California, where it's the size of, say, Brooklyn and the Bronx put together. And it's all cattle. I'm talking thousands, at least 40,000 cattle. I'll show the pictures. I got them back in the day.
It's the way they farm cattle that makes them break the ground. Like the cattle are fucking hard on ground, man. Shit, yes.
But yeah, I'm gonna begin to wrap this up. What's tomorrow?
Yeah, cattle. Yeah, cool. But yeah, if anybody wants to look into farming practices, they're really hard. They hard press their paddocks. You wouldn't drive through an ordinary paddock after the cows have been in it with a bloody car. Your eyeball would be bouncing, So, they're hard on the ground. I mean, if there's native trees in a paddock, Chuck, Paula, Beck, if there's a native tree in the paddock, for example, those trees are not used to that kind of traffic around their roots, and they'll die because it's just too hard,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's probably why some shrubs grow naturally under some trees, to protect people from walking on, and maybe even guide roots a little bit deeper, not like necessarily hugged right up either, like a little circle around, give them some room.
You go into the bloody native forest, Bex, and some places you can barely get between the trees. That's how tight they can grow,
Mm-hmm.
It's survival of the fittest then. The biggest and the best gets the win, The others get pushed out of the way. Mm.
Yep.
Well, it was lovely getting to hang out with you guys after your interview or book, first chapter, first insert in the Book of Dean. I really look forward to it.
I was blooming nervous to begin with.
Thank you, Charles. As always, I look forward to seeing you again soon, and it's a pleasure to see you, Paula.
Yes.
I mean that.
Paula.
Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you.
Look in the back chat, Paula. There's a present for you.
That's a lot, cake. Yes, it was definitely nice talking with everyone again. I did miss you all when I was gone, for sure.
Yeah.
But I needed a break.
Tomorrow tomorrow we're gonna go. Well, Tuesday will be the day I have my laptop back. I can't wait.
Oh, you'll get
My
your
hotspot.
laptop back.
Yeah, we'll wait till then, Chuck, because it'll be my Wednesday, and I'm busy tomorrow, right? Which is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Got a flat out sort of a day.
Mine Tuesday, I'll have my hotspot back. I have my laptop. I'm just saying I can't go on the internet with it because I don't have the hotspot. But I wonder how what's his name's doing in Alaska. I wonder if he's getting any gold.
Oh, you mean
AK.
AK?
Maybe he found the treasure and he disappeared. He said, "I'm out of here."
He struck the
Well,
mother
his
road.
girlfriend told me, or his wife told me happy birthday on my Facebook page, so I know there's something right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I heard from her today, so.
I wonder if they don't have your other channels, both your other channels, Charles.
Oh.
Like
Yeah,
AK and
Well,
or
I'm
even
gonna start.
Lucid.
I'm gonna start doing more of this channel and my other channel, my second one, more now, and let my other one chill out. Because I want to get that. The strike is gonna last until October. They said, isn't that crazy? How many months is that? 33 months it lasts. That's insane. I had no strikes, 0. That's crazy. I said it, and the next day, boom, it hit me with one. It's like, man, don't let me live. It's all right. I got this channel and Charles was too. The second one. So
I have the Charles Was and this one. If you have a third channel, I'm going to need that link in back chat.
Thinking about it. I had started one, but I just haven't. It's still there. I might have erased it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. For now, I got these 3, and that's good enough for me. So.
Bloody nice to be with you guys, I'll tell you. Very nice. Thank you very much, Charles.
You too, Dean.
Beck and Paula, and it was lovely.
Appreciate everybody.
Appreciate every one of you, for sure.
We'll see you again soon.
Thanks
I'm gonna
for
go play
my
with
brain.
I'm gonna go play with words. I was trying to find funny words I could use. I was just looking up words that had B's and X's in them, words I might be able to use for like channel names, and now I'm just having fun because there's like the first one that hit my the first one that hit my name was the first one was like overexuberant, I thought, something like that. And then but now we got all these EX words like Bexceptional.
Bextra. Instead of extra, Bextra.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so fun.
Fun with words.
I know.
Yes, fun with words.
Okay.
It's
all right. Well, I'll talk to you guys
words,
soon. I look forward
Have
to
a
it.
good night.
Much
Yes.
love.
Good night, Bex.
Much love.
Rest well.
Have a good night, Paula, Dean. And thanks
Yeah.
again, Dean, for the beginning part of the interview. We might do 3 parts. It might be a lot of editing, but we'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll get it done. Yeah. Bloody good shit, bro. Anyway, peace out, everyone. Much love to the chat and to everyone that's been watching or, participating.
Michigander, Lapis Blue, Kimba's been watching. Who else? Heron. Hold on. Bex.
Much love, Kimba.
Heron back. There's more people. Of course, Phil.
Cool.
Parsnip and Soama and a couple bushwankers. But other than that, I appreciate everyone, and I'll check you out tomorrow. I'll I'll be going live. Probably 9 a.m. Probably 8 a.m. But I don't know. I'll talk to you. So you're busy tomorrow, so
Yeah, I'm busy tomorrow, but you know, I mean, in the morning, we usually we. Sorry.
No, I was there Wednesday and my Tuesday when I get to do the other interview. Because you're busy tomorrow, which is your Tuesday. So.
Sweet ass, Chuck.
All right, Dean. Have a good rest of your day, and I will check you next time.
Yeah. Thanks very much. I'm going to have to collect the eggs and feed the brimming fowl.
All right, Dean.
Later.
Peace out and peace to everybody. Peace.
Peace.